Hey, it's Becca. Summer decorating begins today on my channel. I thought we'd start here in the family room where I recently picked up my paintbrush and made a little change. This is what it used to look like. And here is what it is looking like today. I said goodbye to the green and ended up painting the entire room Sherwin-Williams canvas tan. In fact, our room looked very similar to this when we first moved in. We had everything painted Manchester tan, which is my favorite. But this is coming in as, I don't know, a very close second. In fact, if you were to put those colors side by side, I don't know that you could really tell a difference. This color might have a little more of a green undertone, which I am perfectly okay with. Manchester tan in certain lights might have more of a golden, maybe yellow undertone. But I am just really loving the change. I do miss the green, but I like having color all around the room. And I kind of feel like this color is very calming and will go with, no matter what your style is. What do you think? Do you like it? I also found a new rug that I layered on top of this one. Here's the before. And here's what it's looking like now. If you happen to join me on my little field trip to at home a couple of weeks ago, I shared this rug and I fell in love with it. It just had to come home with me. Love the colors in it. You have ivory, varying shades of brown, darker brown, more of a beige. You have navy, and then more of a denim, like a stone color. Such a pretty medallion and border. And I just really like how it not only anchors the room, but I think it ties in with the wall color really nicely as well. One thing I love to do is layer rugs. Starting with the neutral base, this is a seagrass. It's not very comfortable underfoot, but it's very withstanding of pet stains, and it's held up really well. But I'll start with my larger base, and then that allows me to go with a smaller, more affordable rug on top. This is an 8x10. I'll link it down below in case it's something that you're interested in as well. And then before I start decorating, I did want to mention that I brought the sofa table back and then moved the end tables that were on either side of the sofa. They're now in another room. And then the mirrors that were on that wall, I went ahead and put them there and there, taking away the peg racks and the artwork. I like their length and just how they help to bounce the light around the room. And then I kept the accent chairs and ottoman here. I feel like these chairs, along with this sofa, just create a cozy conversation area, and I like the size of these chairs for this room. All right, let's start decorating. Starting with the mantle, I'm bringing back a canvas that I've had here a few times before, but I think it will set the tone for the subtle coastal look that I'm going for. Isn't that a pretty print? Like I mentioned, I found it several years ago. I hope I can link it below. But I love all of the colors in it and how it ties in with the new rug. And because I've got such a larger print here, that's another reason I feel like the mirrors work on each side, because if I had artwork over there, it might take away from the canvas. So we'll just let that be the star of the show. Now, having said that, I do want to add something to each side of the canvas, but it needs to be tall just so it balances with the canvas and it doesn't get visually lost, if that makes sense. So I'm thinking a simple arrangement on each side. I'll be using 2 of these vases, and then to the vases I'm going to add this grass. I really like the height of it, how wispy it is, the movement, and I think this will tie in nicely for that coastal look. And then I also have a couple of these that I'll be adding to each vase as well, as long as Ivy doesn't think it's her new toy. And I also have a little bit of this faux Spanish moss. I don't have enough to go around, so I'm just gonna tuck it in the front and try to spread it. The good news is that you won't see the back of the arrangement since it'll be up on the mantle, so I'm hoping that this works. Now with the arrangements in place, I'm gonna add a couple of candle holders. I've had these for quite a few years, but I love how they're distressed and how the brown will tie in with the brown that's going on not only in the boat or the canvas, but also in the rug. And then of course I can't forget a couple of my favorite battery operated candles. Now I could leave it just like this. I've got my large print, the arrangements on each side for balance, a little bit of ambiance with the candles, but I'm gonna add one more piece, and that is this fabulous garland. I love the detail or the texture on the glass orbs. However, I'm not gonna hang it. I'm just gonna rest it or place it right in the middle below the boat. And then down here, I normally have a chair here, but took it away for a bit. Only gonna add back this fabulous basket. Love the texture and the handles, and it's filled with these birch logs. Now let's do something over on the sofa table. My go-to is 2 lamps and something in the middle, but I'm gonna try to be a little more asymmetrical by only adding 1 lamp, but then balancing it on the other side with candles. Next, look at this beautiful vase that I recently found. Love the handles, has a lot of texture, and this thing is heavy. Now I could put it in the middle and leave it. I think it would be really pretty all on its own, but I do want to add a bit of faux florals. The only problem is the top, or I don't know if you call that the mouth, the opening is so wide. It's going to take a lot of flowers to really make it look full. Let me show you what I mean. So I have these faux florals and faux eucalyptus, and when I place them right down in there, you know, that doesn't look bad, but they're kind of falling to the side. So I have an idea. Let me try something else. I have placed them in this much smaller vase. Now I'm just going to drop it down in. But this allows my pieces to be a little more upright. It still makes the vase look full. And this might work. I know I'm not the first person to do it this way, but what do you think? And then the last piece is this really pretty lamp. I've placed the wire in the front, not dangling off the back, just so you don't see it. All right, so I ended up sliding the lamp over. I feel like I need a little bit of coastal over here as well. So what do you think about this piece here? Just gonna place it right beside the lamp. My symmetrical side is screaming because this is very asymmetrical, but I think I might go with it. Next, let's fill up the sofa. First thing I'm gonna do is add this really pretty throw. I've had it here most of the year, but I love how neutral and comfy it is, so I'm just gonna keep on using it. And then I'm bringing back these pillows. I found them a few years ago, but I love that you've got the stripe on one side and the check on the other, and they're just too pretty to keep hidden away. I'm just gonna place one at each end. And see how nicely they tie in with the rug? And then I'm gonna add in these plain white pillows. I really like adding a pattern and then a solid. And then to the middle, I'm gonna add this new lumbar pillow. Love the texture, and I like how the brown in it ties in with the brown in the check pillows. And then to tie everything together, I'm just gonna add the same pillows over on the accent chairs. And then if Charlie doesn't mind, I'm gonna add a matching throw to the ottoman. Now let's do something with the coffee table. I kind of want to just fill it up with books for the summer. However, I'm going to start right in the middle with this really pretty basket. I love that chinoiserie detail in the handles. Would you believe I found this at Goodwill? I think I paid $2 for it. And then to add a little bit of a coastal feel, I'm just going to layer this seashell dish towel right on top. And then this big old book, which is another Goodwill find, with one little piece of greenery. And then just, like I mentioned, simple books. All the way around. And then a couple of seashells. This one will go over here on this pile. On second thought, what if I took the greenery away and in its place add a battery operated candle and cloche? Time to style the bookcases. Now, if you happen to be new around here, I am in love with symmetry. I try to embrace asymmetry as much as I can, but my heart belongs to symmetry. So what is on the left usually ends up on the right. Again, going for a little bit of a coastal vibe over here, let me show you the pieces I'll be using. I'll be adding in tried and true pictures. I have a couple of these lanterns that I think lends itself to a coastal look. Of course, glassware, with this being a new find on my recent trip to At Home. I found 2 of these. I then have these little corbels that I will be using as bookends instead. Speaking of books, of course I have to have those, and I'll be bringing in the blue with the books. A little bit of greenery. Of course, I have to add classic coral. And then I have 2 of these pieces. I'm thinking about layering them in the back of one of the shelves. And I almost forgot, I'm going to be adding in a couple of these really pretty baskets as well. Now on the bottom shelf, this is where I thought it would be fun to layer this in the back. I like how the pattern ties in with the mirror that's on the next wall. Gives it dimension, and then it also kind of mirrors or matches the color of the baskets on the top shelf. And then I'll just add 2 little pictures. I may try to go back and put a seashell here later. I just need to find one. And simple bowl. And now I'm doing the exact same thing over in the other bookcase. And then on top of the center bookcases, I'm going to add a candle to each end. And then a tray right in the middle, along with this really pretty chinoiserie container. This way I'm carrying the blue from the bookcases to the top of these as well. And then a couple of finishing touches. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's video and will consider subscribing to my channel. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.